Hey guys, it's Daniela. This week's theme on Wowzerifying Squad is collab channel advice. So I made a list on my phone of random tips and tricks for auditioning for a collab channel and actually being a part of a collab channel. And I'm just gonna be giving you guys some tips. So yeah, I'm gonna be giving you guys tips on both auditioning and actually being a part of a collab channel. So anyways, without any further ado, let's get this party started. So we're gonna start with the audition tips. So next time the Wowzerifying channels hold auditions, you might want to take these tips into consideration. So my first tip is to watch the video and read all the instructions. And this is very important because you don't want to miss anything important, because you want to make sure that you know everything you need to know, because if you don't follow the rules, then you might not get on. So you want to make sure you know all the important information, like the deadline, because if you get your video in past the deadline, then the collab channel that you're auditioning for probably won't take it, because there's deadlines for a reason. So my next tip is you want to have a good quality camera. So you can film on your phone if it's good quality, but if your phone doesn't have a good quality, If your phone doesn't have a good quality camera, then you might want to invest in an actual camera. It doesn't have to be like absolutely like the highest quality ever, but an average video is probably about 720p to 1080p. That's pretty good. Pretty much like anything lower than that, I would advise against. So my next tip is to keep the camera stable. So ideally you should set it on a tripod or a table or something. A tripod is best because it's like, that's like the whole purpose of it is to hold a camera. But yeah, just set it somewhere, and if you're having someone else hold the camera, then just make sure that their hand is steady. Make sure that they're not gonna like shake it around, because a shaky video doesn't look good. So my next tip is to be as creative as possible. Now, if the collab channel you're auditioning for is like a skit channel, like this kind of like mainly applies to like skits. Like there's a certain theme and you have to make a skit on it. Just make sure, just like be as creative as possible. Like when you're coming up with ideas, like literally nothing is a stupid idea. So just like come up with ideas for the theme, and just like whatever comes to mind, even if it seems stupid in the moment, just like consider it, because it's probably not stupid and it's probably really creative. And if it's not like a skit type video, you still like want to be creative, like add your own personal touches to it, because auditioning for a collab channel, like the whole reason that collab channels hold auditions is because we want to get to know you. So my next tip is to use music. Probably don't want to use copyright music, especially if you're uploading your video to YouTube. If you're just like sending it in, like emailing it to them, like I guess using copyrighted music like doesn't really matter too much, because you're not going to get copyright striked, but it's still better to use copyright free music. And there's a lot out there, like there's a lot of copyright free music out there. So just use music. It like makes the video more interesting and stuff, and it just like it makes it more like put together. So the next one is don't make your audition video super long. If you need to edit anything out, like edit out whatever. Like it doesn't need to be super short either. Like it doesn't need to be like 45 seconds, but don't make like a 10-minute video, because like no one's gonna watch the whole video. So the next one is don't leak all your information. And what I mean by this is if you're uploading your audition video to YouTube, don't put your email in the description or like in the video. Like don't do that. Okay, and the last tip I have for auditions is if you don't get on, don't be a sore loser. I mean, if you didn't get on, like it's nothing against you, unless the channel you're auditioning for is like really toxic, in which case like you shouldn't audition for a channel that's really toxic. But like it's not like anything against you. It's like that there are very limited spots, and not everyone gets in. And so if you didn't get in, just like say, okay, like I didn't get in, I'll figure out, just like figure out what you could have improved on, and the next time you audition, put those improvement, like actually like take those improvements. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about tips for actually being on a collab channel. So congratulations, you got on the collab channel you auditioned for, congrats. So now here are some tips. So the first one is make sure you have time. And this is probably something that you should consider before auditioning. Because if you audition for a collab channel and then you realize, oh, I don't have time to be on this channel, well, you probably should have thought about that before auditioning. But make sure you have time to be on a collab channel. Being on a collab channel, you have to make a video every week, and that takes time, and not everyone has the kind of time for that. So if you don't have the kind of time for it, then maybe being on a collab channel isn't for you. Unless you're really busy, you probably have some free time, and just use some of your free time to make your video that week. It's not that hard to make time, and I'm kind of saying this as a hypocrite because I myself don't always have time. So sometimes I go a whole month without uploading. I kind of take liberties on it because I am my own manager, so it's not like I can kick myself off, so I'm just kind of doing this for fun. But in the case of not being your own manager, you probably will get kicked off if you don't upload for a month, unless you have a legitimate reason. And yes, life happens, things happen. You might have a really busy week and you miss a video, that's one thing. Or something comes up and you can't upload for a month. If you have a legitimate reason, just contact your manager and explain, they'll understand. But if you just go missing for a month and don't upload and not give any reason, you're probably gonna get kicked off. Okay, so the next one is read all the guidelines. So if your collab channel sends out a guide or something, we do that. We have a guide to being on the Wowzer Find channels that we send to new members when, after we contact them saying, congratulations, you got on. We send them a guide and has pretty much everything you need to know about being on the Wowzer Find channels. So if your collab channel sends a guide, read the whole thing. Even if it's long, still read the whole thing because it has very important information. And again, like I said earlier about reading all the guidelines to auditioning, make sure you know everything that you need. Make sure you read everything that you're told to read before making your introduction video. So the next one is be creative in your introduction video. Now obviously you want to be creative in all your videos, but your introduction video specifically, it's your first video and you're making an impression, you're making a first impression on the viewers. So when you make your introduction video, be creative. Again, show your creative self and make it personal because your introduction video is all about you. It's literally people watch it literally so that they can get to know you because this is the first time they're seeing you on this channel and they want to get to know who they're watching. So the next one is to actually talk to and interact with your fellow members. So if your collab channel has a group chat for everyone, join the group chat because it's really fun to talk to your fellow members and you can make friends. And that's what being on a collab channel is all about. It's literally people on the same channel making videos, so everyone has a common interest. So it's a really good place to make friends. I talk to the people on not only Wowzer Find Squad, but also Keelio Squad. We all have a group chat and we constantly talk on it and it's so much fun. And I even have Snapchat streaks with some of my fellow members of the Wowzer Find channels. And it's so much fun. It's a really good way to make friends. And that's gonna lead me into my next point, which is ask other members for ideas if you get stuck. It's a really good way to you have other people who are doing videos on the same theme, and so they can give you ideas. Now don't copy anyone unless you happen to have the same idea and it's just a complete coincidence. which has actually happened to me before. I remember one time, I think the theme was expectation versus reality. Me and Laura, we both had the same theme. Or, well, obviously we had the same theme, but we both had the same idea for the theme, which was a coincidence. And our idea was, I think it was quarantine expectations versus realities, because this was like around the beginning of quarantine. And so we both came up with that idea, and we both did it anyway, even after we realized we both had the same idea. And my next one, which is also very similar, and this one's like not really a tip, but more of just something fun you can do, is you can like you can include some of your fellow members in your videos. So you can, like, if 1 week you feel like collaborating with someone on a video, you can go in the group chat and be like, hey, who wants to be in my video? And you can like send each other clips, and it's a fun thing to do. Obviously it's not something that, it's not like a tip that, like, something you have to do every week, but it's just fun to do that sometimes. I did that once when I was on the Golden channels, and it was a lot of fun. I was making a skit about like going into like the future and stuff, and I involved like another member in my video, and it was so much fun. My next tip is to be on the lookout for important emails. And this is really important because, like, again, you don't want to miss anything important. And like just be on the lookout like for themes and stuff, or like other important announcements. Yeah, because if they send an email, chances are it's something important. And my next tip is, whenever you get an opportunity, volunteer to help out behind the scenes. It's really helpful. And like, even if like, because like sometimes your collab channel manager might send out an email saying like, hey, I'm looking for like co-managers, like people to help manage the channel, and you can jump on that opportunity and help out. But even if they don't like specifically send an email like that, you can still like offer to help out. You can still like ask them, hey, like, can I help out managing? Okay, and the last tip is have fun. Because obviously, if you're not having fun, then what's the point of being on a collab channel? I mean, like, it's supposed to be fun. And it's supposed to, I don't know where I was going with that. It's supposed to be fun. Yeah, so have fun. And this also brings up something else important. If you are finding that you're getting stressed, because like, yes, it can be stressful having to make a video every week, especially when life gets in the way, like when there's school and stuff, it can be stressful. So if you're stressed, you might want to ask to take a break, or even leave the channel if you know that if a break just isn't enough and it's just starting to not be for you, then it might be time to leave the channel or just take a break. That actually happened to me a couple years ago. I was like really stressed out because like I wasn't uploading as much as like I should have been, and I was feeling really guilty about that. And then I made a whole 20-minute video. It was like, originally I was gonna leave the channel. I was gonna still manage it, but just not upload videos on it as a member. But I made this whole video. It was like 20 minutes long, and like I got emotional in it at one point. And cause I'm like, this was like a big decision for me, like leaving the channel. But then I ended up coming back because I ended up just deciding, you know what, instead of just leaving, I'm just gonna make this a break. I really hope that this video was helpful if you're thinking about auditioning for a collab channel, or if you're thinking about auditioning for the Wowzifying channels the next time we hold auditions. So if you guys want to be a good candidate for a shout out in my next video, then comment down below your best tip for being on a collab channel. And if you don't really like have any tips, just comment down below if you're planning on auditioning for the Wowzifying channels the next time we hold auditions. Cause like, why not? So yeah, anyways, that is pretty much it. Don't forget to have a wowzifying day full of lots of wowzerness, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, y'all. Woo!